All right, let me introduce you guys to our last speaker for the day. So, Umer is a full stack developer with 8 years of experience. He's an educator and a speaker, a proud mentor, volunteer, and passionate about AI's role in software development. Today, he's talking about sit back, relax, and let the AI agents do the coding. Please welcome Umer.
Today I'm going to be talking about sit back, relax, and AI agents do the coding for you. I know we talked a little bit about vibe coding, and there's a difference between vibe coding and what I'm going to be talking about, and I'm going to show you what the difference is. So after the talk, hopefully you are like a mad scientist who just goes in on the fly, creates stuff. Anyways, a little bit about my intro. So I'm Umer. I've been in the industry for about 8 years. Been an educator as well, teaching people. I think one of the good things about teaching is giving back to the community is really, yeah, it gives you a lot of energy. So I'm grateful for that. But do connect with me on LinkedIn. So yeah, here we go. A little bit of a history lesson first. So I want to talk about the AI editors and when they actually came into being used. I remember back in 2020, I never actually heard of GitHub Copilot or anything. I did hear a little bit of, okay, there's things like Tab 9. Anybody remember what Tab 9? Yeah, Tab 9. Yeah, I used that a bit. It was basically autocomplete for things like JavaScript and TypeScript and stuff. And then for Visual Studio, IntelliSense, still use it. It's pretty cool, but didn't have much auto completion and things like that. So it was really difficult to code, like sit down and code it. Remember solving problems for like 6 hours, just sitting down. Sometimes just like nightmares. I would wake up in the night and it would be just like, okay, I fixed the problem in my mind, and I would go in and start the coding process. And I know everybody has been there, like nighttime shitters or on coding. But anyways, so 2020 to 2023 was the I would say it was when the ChatGPT came out, 2022, and that's when actually everybody started using it, and we got to using AI a lot as just regular humans. So 2023, Cursor came out, other AI editors as well came out. And who here uses Cursor, by the way? Cursor? Okay. Ugh. Anyways, so yeah, Cursor was a really good, is a really good code editor. I use it on daily basis nowadays. And then nowadays it's more like tools coming out which would create the whole project for you as well. There's one called Marbleism, which I did a talk on. There's others as well. So as a developer, what does this mean for you? Well, you might not realize this, but overnight, you as a developer got a promotion, and you as a developer are actually promoted to a senior software developer. If you were a junior before, now you're a senior, and you actually hired a junior developer called this AI assistant. So whether you know it or not, around the globe, every software developer got a promotion overnight. So how do you actually harness the power of AI in development? You must be using, like, Cursor is actually really helpful in writing code for you and giving you all these suggestions and things like that. But how you actually harness this power of AI in coding? I'll give you this step-by-step guide, and I found this pretty creepy, so I added it in the slides. Anyways, so I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how you can create an enterprise level project using AI. Here we go. This is what I've done recently, an enterprise level solution using AI. So first up is problem discovery. So whether if you're creating a feature or you're creating a full-fledged system, the first thing you need to examine the problem at hand. If you're creating a POS system, you need to know your target audience, who is going to use it, how much you are thinking about scaling this solution, you know, where you're going to use this system. So you need to go and second doubt and, you know, doubt yourself and second guess yourself, and that's the process of problem discovery. That's the first step. Then you can use AI tools. So I recently did a data analytics course. The number one thing I found out about data analytics and how AI models work is garbage in, garbage out. So if you give bad data or bad input, you're going to get bad output from these AI models. So the first thing, that's why I said, like, problem discovery, you need to be very precise when you search for the problem, and you need to really understand the problem first before you consult the AI tools. You can use ChatGPT for this. You can use Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever tool that you use. You can ask questions from it and see, okay, this is a problem I'm trying to solve. What are the possible solutions for it? Next up is architectural diagrams. So I know we talked about it in the previous talk, but the more standard way of creating architectural diagrams is UML diagrams. That is a standard for software diagrams. I think the one main thing that I learned from a university degree, apart from other things, is a UML diagram, because it will help you, like, it will go a long way. If you don't know about UML diagrams, look it up. It's really easy to create those diagrams. There's activity diagram, sequence diagram, all these diagrams, they really help you out in basically putting the architecture for the system. Then comes the team collaboration. This is a key aspect in your development process. I think the biggest thing I learned as an educator was communication skills and how to work in a team, how to explain your complex problems in a simple way using analogies and stuff. So I think team collaboration should be always your first priority when it comes to decision making. You should never take a decision and take it to your ego. Always remember, if you want a successful project, the project is only as good as the team. So if the team makes a decision, it should always be before your ego. Remember that. And then the tech stack. So the tech stack is also, I would say, this is the number one thing that AI will guide you in. It's really helpful in. You can ask ChatGPT, you can ask Gemini, all these AI tools. They will help you decide the best tech stack. Even if you don't get it from one AI tool, at least you'll get the pros and cons of each of the tech stack. They might not be the latest one because they're trained for maybe 2022 and 2023 documentation, but at least you'll get some knowledge of the pros and cons for the solution that you're working for. You know, whether the T3 tech stack works for you, or mean stack you should go for, MERN stack, whatever stack you want to select for your project. So step number 6 is boilerplate code. Now, this is a general perception that AI should be used for boilerplate code. I'm totally against it. And the reason is because when you're putting the foundation of your code, it should be handmade. And also the other reason is that when you have AI create these boilerplate code for you, sometimes it uses older libraries, older packages. So it actually takes equal amount of time when you go and look up React documentation, for example, and look up their start guide. You can as easily just go in the documentation and see how you can create a React project. And that would be the latest way of creating a React project. So I would say boilerplate code, do it yourself. And then once you have the foundation work there, then you can have AI build on top of it. All right, next up, I have a full slide for this, but the key to a successful working with the AI system is sequential thinking. Now, what is sequential thinking? In a gist, it's basically breaking down a bigger problem into smaller ones. What YK was talking about. For example, if if you tell the AI that, okay, create a login system, it might give you the login system, but it might be broken in several places. It might not work out for your use case. So I would say, like if you want to create a login system, first ask for the schema, then the back end, the front end, and then combine them together. So it's step by step. Okay, next up is never merge code that you don't understand. And this is why I said this goes against the vibe coders. So vibe coders might not like this, but I never merge code that I don't understand. And the reason for that is that down the line, you're going to run into an issue where somebody asks about this code and you have no idea what you wrote or what the code is doing. Okay, and also when you want to fix a bug in the code that was written by AI, you will have no clue of what the code was doing. So always review, and this is where Cursor is really good at, right? It gives you a pull request, sort of like a pull request, where it suggests you all these code edits, and then you have to accept them. Don't, although it might be a little bit you might be into pressing the accept all button in Cursor when it gives you suggestion, but I would suggest going in every single file what was edited and go one by one. That will help you a lot. Okay, so how do you actually use sequential thinking? Here's the step-by-step guide. So first up is think of coding like giving instructions to a junior developer. So you need to be very precise and you need to start small. So for example, if you tell somebody just build a car, they will definitely build a car, but it might not suit your use case. So tell them to build the tire first, right? Then the chassis, then the engine, and step by step build the car, right? So the process, it's go step by step. After each step you take, validate that, and then proceed to the next one. Do not create a full solution and then go back and then review the solution and say, okay, this is something I don't understand. And the gist of it is that AI shines in collaborative mode, but it does not on autonomous mode. So if you're using AI as a junior developer, you will love it, and if you follow this process, you will definitely be able to create enterprise level solutions. I've created it. It's awesome. But if you depend too much on AI to create the full solution for you, you will regret it. I've run into rabbit holes with AI, and I had to reject and revert all those solutions that were given to me. And also another point is, like, don't fear from AI giving you solution and rejecting that solution. Sometimes it gives you a solution and then you follow up with another command, it gives you another solution. You kind of feel like maybe I should accept all of these solutions. So feel free to reject the solution if you don't understand it. Lastly, I would say congratulations to everyone in this room and across the world as a software developer. You have a promotion, as even if you don't realize it, you got a promotion as a senior developer, and it was not given by your company, it was given by the future itself. You just have to own it. So thank you so much. This is me. Please link up with me on LinkedIn. Thank you. Questions?
Yeah, great talk. You mentioned, I noticed you mentioned that letting the AI choose the tech stack for you. And but I heard a theory says if you go to the AI, ask the AI to build a website for you, it will go to React. So I heard a theory that AI is going to help those like popular framework become even more popular. So my question is, should we like be worried about that?
So what I talked about is not letting AI create the solution for you. I talked about AI giving you suggestions on the pros and cons of each of the tech stack. So don't let AI dictate you on the solution. You as a human and as a team have to decide on the tech stack based on the use case. But you can ask AI for suggestions on pros and cons for each of the tech stack. Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. Your talk and my case as well earlier, it seems to be a trend of like, here's how to be a software engineer. Like it's like a good talk about software engineering, and it's just like it seems like a lot more people who are not software engineers, perhaps in a good way, are coming to software by coding, and it's like training them to think as software engineers, because all that applies to everyone who should be building software, but it's like under the guise of it's like a spoon with like medicine, but like a chocolate on the other side. Like seems like a misdirection to just teach people how to code. What do you think? Because I feel like you keep suggesting like check your code, really do software engineering, but and as you just said, it's basically software engineering. So it's just how to do it as opposed to let it all be.
I think software engineering hasn't changed. Like I said, you've got a promotion, and as a senior software engineer, even without the AI, as a senior software engineer, your job was to manage junior software engineers and tell them what to do, what architecture to follow, come up with different options on architecture, give the pros and cons, create POCs, and then let the junior developers do the code for you, right? That was the process before as well, right? If I'm not wrong. Like, I've been in the industry for a long time, so I can definitely say that, yeah, that was the process. Like, junior developers were doing the coding, senior developers were doing the architecturing. And now, because you've got the promotion, you have a junior software developer that can do the code for you. So you can monitor that code, review the pull requests, create the architecture, ask them for options, and then eventually you are the one who is going to decide whether this solution makes sense to you or not.
Anyone else?
First of all, thank you for the wonderful talk. That's really insightful. I'm curious, which is what I want to ask. So I think recently a lot of people have been building apps with, they've been building like new apps. I'm curious to know what your take is on using AI on a large code base that already existing product software. Um, Eventually, the new software is going to get to that point where it becomes large. You're going to need like AI technology. So, like, what's your take on that?
So AI is really good with POCs. So if you talk about a proof of concept, you should definitely use AI for that. I mean, if your manager tells you, okay, can you show me tomorrow how the login feature would look like in React? Go for it. Like, show your manager that you can actually come up with a login feature in one day using AI, but do not put it in production. That's my take on it. Is like, if you haven't reviewed the code that goes into production, I think you're gonna mess up big time. And I've been in that rabbit hole of having to fix the code that AI generated, and I don't like it. That's why I had to, because if I'm talking about a person who's been in the industry and who has seen the shift of how to work as with non-AI to work with AI. So as a person coming from the industry, I'm telling you that I've learned from my experience that if you ask too big of a task from AI, it will do it for you, but you will run into so many big problems in the future that you will say, maybe I shouldn't have even considered using AI. So start small. If you're working with enterprise level solution, just do small things with AI and then eventually create the big. If you're a POC, then do it, then go for it. Yeah.
Oh, anybody else?
Have you used these AI agents? Have you used a lot of them, and do you feel like there's some that are better than others? And also, are you, like, given that you are very much hands-on with this stuff, you're not just letting it do its thing, do you see like benefit of actually getting good with one of them versus just constantly trying all the new ones that are coming out constantly?
Are you talking about the models, or are you talking about the AI agents like N8N or Make.com? What are you exactly referring to?
I think it was like the agents, particularly.
The models, you mean? Because the
Yes,
agent
yes,
is
yes.
the models, right? So the AI models, I think, for coding, for me personally, Claude, I still use it a lot. even though the Claude, the latest one, the 4 one, kind of is irritating me right now because it takes time for thinking. So I'm thinking about reverting back to Claude 3.7 or something. But for coding specifically, Claude I think is number one. I think Gemini also is pretty good with their latest model. When it comes to architectural decisions, I still think ChatGPT is pretty good. You can talk to it a little bit on pros and cons of different things, and then yeah, you can come up with your own, final solution on things. So
That was Claude, you said, or Clark?
Claude.
Claude, okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Good. Cool. All right. Thanks, Umer.
Awesome. Thanks.